Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby. Double features, double takes, where we talk about two movies, one new, one older, what makes them a good pair, and how the history of films influences the present.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Gabby.
And today we are discussing Jurassic World Rebirth, and we're going to decide what the second film we'll be talking about is today, live on the pod.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, exciting stuff, including, before we even get into the movie, even more exciting stuff before the movies.
You're so right.
The concessions, no lines for the bathroom, and also the trailers.
Okay. There's always a really long line for concessions now because absolutely everyone and their mother is an AMC A-lister now.
Yeah, sometimes
it's really annoying.
It's faster to just go the normal line.
It's quit your memberships. I want to get my popcorn faster than you.
Yeah.
But you are right about those trailers because today we're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, and that is a very, very high-profile release for Universal Studios this summer. So naturally, they have dropped a lot of big-time Universal trailers to go alongside of it.
Yeah, and the crowd that I was with, I saw this opening night, or not even opening night because the movie opened early this week. It opened on a Tuesday.
That's right. It's a
Tuesday
long weekend.
At midnight. So I saw Wednesday night. I saw this movie in a packed AMC at a normal screen, not a Dolby, not an IMAX.
Loser.
Everyone was there. Every seat was filled. And people were not happy about those ads.
Really?
Did you get the insurance commercial in the middle of the trailers?
Okay, yes, I did.
Yes.
And I was a little bit like, okay, what the fuck, Allstate? But
there was people behind me that just yelled, "Fuck ads!"
Yeah, there was a guy. I saw this movie same day as you at an earlier screening. At the Dolby screening, and there was a guy who screamed, and I was really angry about this, and we'll get to it, right before the Odyssey trailers started.
Oh my God.
When he just said 33 minutes of ads, and I was like, shut the fuck up, Christopher Nolan is trying to drop something for us. And it was tough.
Yeah, everybody was really when the for context, if you haven't seen Jurassic World Rebirth, not only are we going to spoil the movie and whatever movie that we decide on talking about later, so full spoilers for those, but if you haven't seen Jurassic World Rebirth, they do a really interesting thing because, as Gabby said, this is a really important movie for Universal, but so is next year's The Odyssey from Christopher Nolan. They included the trailer as part of the movie. So after all the trailers play, if you go to an AMC or if a Regal or whatever, they have their own little advertisements, like the Nicole Kidman, obviously.
Yes, Nicole Kidman comes first before this. It is literally part of the movie and part of the runtime, I believe.
So it's a similar reaction to my crowd where people were, as soon as this preview was approved for all audiences, people were like, what the? There was an audible
I was
murmur.
excited because I really thought, I had heard the murmurs and I had seen the leak that there was going to be an Odyssey trailer. Right. And I thought, and you thought too, you texted me during the during the trailers, not during the movie.
Because I showed up a little late.
Not during the movie. He texted me during the trailers and he was like, damn it, I don't think I'm getting the Odyssey trailer. And I was like, no. Hold on. Hold on to that seat. Yeah. Because the way they do it is a little misleading. But yeah, I think that we're getting to a point where 30 minutes of ads is a lot, and it's a big ask of audiences, is the feedback that I am picking up on behalf of AMC.
And there was this weird moment last year where AMC did shorten the amount of ads that they were playing.
They did.
It was, and for certain movies, and it felt like such a reprieve.
It was.
But now they've gone the other way as for fully owning up to, hey, this movie, will
it's
have
in the app now.
It's
literally in the app.
Written disclosure. And listen, on the one hand, yes, it's great to know that there's other movies coming out. You may get an ad for, an indie film like Sorry Baby, right?
Great movie.
Yeah.
Go see it.
You might not have known was coming out. But it is just a lot.
It's a lot. Even for somebody like me, I love trailers. I do my best to see trailers for at least for the first time on the big screen.
That's incredible.
If something is, I'm able to do it because I go to the movies a lot. Right. If you don't go to the movies a lot, I don't recommend this strategy because then you'll never know trailers.
Know what movies are coming out. Right?
Then you'll never know. But I go to the movies a lot, so I try to see them on the big screen first. If I want to re-watch it on YouTube later, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like Wicked for Good, which played before this movie. Right. I had not seen the trailer for. The Running Man was dropped earlier that day. I did not watch it before seeing it. I have some thoughts. What are your thoughts? What did you think?
I am someone who did not come out of the first Wicked like being in love with it.
You didn't come out of it for good?
I came out of it. I got nothing. I got nothing for that one.
You came out of it wicked.
Yeah. I just wanted more colors. And it was like kind of a little bit on the longer side. But yeah, seeing this second movie, I think very similar feelings to at least seeing the first trailer, where like I really appreciate what they're doing with the music. It's a very moving trailer. I'm excited to see this part of the story. I will confess that I wasn't familiar with the Wicked the musical before, so I went as soon as I got out of the movie. Went home, just looked up the musical, and then read up and on what happens next, and I'm very excited to see how that story plays out.
Yeah, I have fully seen Wicked on Broadway, and I also don't know what happens. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but I also did not feel amazing about Wicked, the first Wicked installment. I did think that this trailer looked pretty good. I thought that I don't want to step on John Chu's intentions, but it did sound like maybe he took some of our notes, and I did feel like this trailer was a little more colorful.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to hold true for the movie, but that was also my biggest complaint about Wicked 1. I just thought it looked like washed out.
Yeah, he goes back to the editor. He's like, up at 20%. We just need 20% of it back.
I feel like he wants his Oscar nomination, and he knows that that's why he didn't get it.
They also had the shot, one of the first press shots that came out of the movie was Glinda in that staircase where she's kind of all lit up, and where she's in pink, and she's this little accent light coming on, and the rest of that area is blue. We saw that shot in motion, which was really nice to see. Nice to see those images still like holding in this movie, holding space, maybe one might say. But I mean,
I'm not ready for that press tour again.
I know. Do you think they'll just do it? Do you think they'll do the whole?
I think they're going to change it up.
They're going to hold the finger.
I think they're going to change it up. I think they know that they almost overexposed us the first time.
Yeah, I'll also say it right now. What is it today? July 3rd. I'll say right now. There's going to be a journalist in the press junket who will bring a hand. Like, if you guys are feeling overwhelmed, you can just hold this finger again and just like pass it to them.
Do you know that because it's going to be you?
Hey, Universal, call me for these genius ideas. Wicked for good.
Wicked for good. We'll see
optimistic. We'll see it. I don't expect to love it, but I want to see the conclusion of the story.
Yeah. I'm optimistic. Sometimes, we have recently discussed this. Sometimes the sequel is better than the original.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe it'll surprise us, and maybe Ariana will win that Oscar, which she deserved last year. Never thought I'd be out here stumping for Ariana Grande to win an Oscar, but I'm here. I'm ready. I'm part of a team.
Yeah.
Okay, The Running Man. What did you think of the Running Man trailer?
So I actually don't know the movie very well. The original with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, we just talked about him on our last episode. The trailer was really interesting to me.
It's really good.
I can see a lot of younger audiences being like, "Oh, this feels like kind of like Hunger Games, but more sci-fi." Like people who are like are teenagers now, right? Right. I'm not saying that I thought that, but I'm saying they will think that.
Oh, okay, Evan.
And Coleman Domingo looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, the cast is stacked.
Love that they did Glenn Powell in the mustache again, very similar to his Hitman, quick Hitman scene.
Does he just love disguises?
I think so.
He's the new master of disguise.
Yeah.
But he's also seems to be playing angry, which I don't think that he gets to do a lot, or haven't seen him do before. Like he's always just like handsome, charming, goofy guy. Yeah. And now he seems like angry dad, and I'm like, okay, let's see where this takes us. And also maybe trying to make a push for action star, making a push for that Mission Impossible mantle, the Tom Cruise mantle, perhaps.
Yeah, really interesting that he didn't show up in the latest Mission Impossible, to be honest.
You thought he was going to show up?
Not really, but I just think that like with the future of that franchise unknown, that you could also see a world where they maybe...
I think we're done.
You know what? Bring Jeremy Renner back.
Not we're done. I'm done. Gabby's done.
Okay.
After that one. But yeah, the Running Man trailer, it surprised me. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
I also have not seen the original Running Man. I'm familiar with the Stephen King story.
Okay.
And I will out myself right now as a bit of an Edgar Wright hater. I really, really, really hated Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, I was like, I came out of it being really jazzed, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know, guys.
He's one of those filmmakers to me where like a lot of his movies look great.
Yeah.
They look amazing. The visuals, the visual storytelling is there, but a lot of the story stuff kind of falls flat for me. At least in these last last decade of his work.
I think the original Cornetto trilogy is really great.
Yes.
I think he's also your mileage may vary on was it World's End at World's End?
Yeah.
But I think there's like something interesting that he was trying to go for there that like when thinking about those three movies like holistically, you're like, oh, okay. Definitely Hot Fuzz is my favorite for sure. But
I'm referring more to like Baby Driver and
Baby Driver thought the world was like way too small. Also crazy to look at the cast right now. Like you see the poster of the Baby Driver cast. Like,
don't remind me. Okay. Don't remind me. But maybe he's learned his lesson and that's why he's moving on to Running Man. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I mean, even though, haven't been as jazzed as the most recent ones, always there to see because at the very least you get to see the interesting visual take on. And
my guy Michael Cera is on a tear. He's killing it right now, and I'll be there if not for Glenn. For Michael. Let's talk about the Odyssey.
Yeah,
the trailer of the moment, the teaser trailer of the moment. It's not a full trailer.
Yeah. Do you think when they release Jurassic World Rebirth on Blu-ray, it'll also include the Odyssey trailer?
I can only hope, but I'll never know because spoiler, will not be purchasing this on physical media. But the Odyssey, I will say, as a concept, the movie as a concept.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I think it's a really big swing. I mean, not that he can't not that Christopher Nolan has not earned his big swings at this point and not that I don't trust him.
Sure.
It just seems like a really, really large thing to take on.
Do you think longer or shorter than Oppenheimer, runtime wise?
Longer.
And do you think if so, intermission or no intermission?
I think there's going to be a formal intermission.
I hope so.
That's my prediction.
The Brutalist maybe gave him some hope to include something like that, right?
I loved the Brutalist had an intermission. Honestly, give us more time to get up and pee.
And also, you'll sell more concessions because the movie's long.
Ooh, so fair.
But yeah, I agree. I think concept wise, yes, it is a lot.
It's a lot.
I was kind of inspired by those kind of like what was going on there. I thought that was pretty cool.
I think it looks really cool. I think it looks great, and obviously, I mean. I've mentioned on our last pod, we used to shoot things on location, and Mr. Nolan is shooting on location.
Yeah.
He is like, everything looks real. Everything looks really evocative.
Yeah.
And even Tom Holland, got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Those seem like real tears.
I mean, Tom Holland, he has tried to break out of the Spider-Man role multiple times with Uncharted and even non-franchise stuff with like Cherry. Seems like things haven't really stuck for him since besides going from Billy Elliot to Peter Parker. I'm really hopeful for him though.
I'm hopeful
He's so
for him.
charming.
I'm going to be honest. I think he needs this.
Yeah.
And I don't think he needs to necessarily get out of Spider-Man yet because he still is Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't need to leave Spider-Man. Like, I know he's like, he's trying to do new things, but he doesn't need to leave it yet. He's still Peter Parker.
And he's a whole generation's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is
Tobey
like
Maguire will always be Spider-Man to me.
Exactly.
No matter how many of the like slightly younger millennials try and push Andrew Garfield on me. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And and everyone loves Matt Damon being stranded movie. Do
you think he's really was inspired to take this because he wants to be like a Tom Hanks, like Castaway kind of stranded guy?
Yeah, I think that was part of the appeal for sure.
Yeah, you think he's like another Oscar nomination?
Yeah. Oh, honestly,
does he have one? I don't think he has one.
No, he won. Didn't he?
Just
win
writing for Good Will Hunting. I mean, I meant acting. I know he has Good Will Hunting.
John Bernthal being John Bernthal in the Odyssey.
I just cast him to be John Bernthal. In anything.
Yeah.
Like his great. His guest appearances make The Bear worth watching to me.
I know. Yeah,
they just do.
Yeah, very.
Put him in more stuff.
Yeah, even his the podcast that he does, that clip where he's like talking to Deborah Ann Wool about playing D&D, inspiring stuff. Absolutely inspiring stuff.
I can't wait to see the Odyssey. I don't. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it in a year, but we'll see. It's coming out in a year.
Best guesses on a formal trailer? December, Christmas?
Ooh, I would guess it's going to go along with a big Christmas release, probably another Universal release.
Probably with Wicked.
Probably with Wicked.
Different demo, but...
I don't think they would put it with The Running Man. I think they're going to put it with Wicked because it's their big.
And Wicked comes out around Thanksgiving, I believe, right?
Yes.
End of November.
It's their award season movie. Yeah. That's a good guess. It's a good guess from us.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Revisit this around that time and
tell us if we were right or wrong.
Yeah, leave a comment. All right. Talking about being wrong. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Ooh,
the scientists were wrong to make more dinosaurs.
Wow,
that's what I'll say there. But yeah, let's get into it.
This film just hit theaters this week.
Right.
Just released July 2nd, 2025. Directed by Gareth Edwards. Written by David Koepp, who wrote the original Jurassic Park script all the way back in 1993.
Yeah, he also had some Steven Soderbergh collaborations come out this year. I believe he wrote Presents.
Yes, he did.
I think he also wrote Black Bag as well, potentially.
I loved Black Bag. Good for him. He is working.
He's working.
One screenwriter is working. Okay.
Count it up. Put it on the board.
Rebirth is the 7th overall Jurassic Park movie. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, and Manuel Garcia Rolfo. The Lincoln lawyer himself.
Oh.
I was also wondering where he came from.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But all the dads in my theater, they knew where he was from.
We're recording this on July 3rd, so we don't know how much money this movie will make at the box office holiday weekend. But box office tracking, which can be, pretty unreliable. But right now, it looks to be over $100 million over 5 days. It's July 4th weekend in America. Yeah. The movie was fast-tracked by Universal after alleging that the Jurassic franchise would end with their attempt to pull an Avengers Endgame situation with Jurassic World Dominion. Big fan service moment in that movie.
Ooh, I have not seen that movie, but Laura Dern is in it.
Yep,
they
Sam
got
Neill,
her back.
Jeff Goldblum.
I hope that check was large.
Yeah. And despite pretty bad reviews, Dominion grossed over $1 billion at the global box office. So yeah, of course, this franchise wasn't going to be left as a fossil, but will it ever be fossilized, Riley?
Well,
if you didn't hear that, Riley sighed audibly off screen. I'll throw in a text there. So I mean, this is I will say one thing about this franchise and its longevity. When we both saw the movie pretty early. Were there people cosplaying at your viewing?
No. Did you have
a lot
cosplayers?
Of people dressed up as Laura Dern. Laura Dern, I think, is a very popular cosplay to do as.
That's a hot outfit. I would pull that off if I could.
A lot of men can do it too.
Men can do it too.
Pretty, gender non-conforming. Yeah,
it's just a comfortable look. Very chic.
Saw someone with I think I couldn't tell if they were doing Laura Dern, but they had glasses or not glasses.
Binoculars.
Yeah, I think so. And then there was also a lots of people just with the Jurassic Park shirts and things. I always forget that this fandom specifically has a lot of fans. This franchise has a lot of fans of all ages.
Yes.
Because people love dinosaurs. Not the people in the movie anymore.
No.
The humans in the movie
the
hate
people in the movie don't want dinosaurs.
Sick of them.
Yeah. But no, this movie, not even just this movie, this franchise has some real heads. And it has a broad appeal to all ages. And I think that is something that keeps this franchise alive. Yeah. It's a movie I had people with kids at the screening. I went to more of an afternoon screening. There were families, there were, grandparents, parents, children, all ages seeing this movie because dinosaurs are universal, but
studios.
But my personal take is that the only good Jurassic Park movie is the first movie.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only one.
I agree.
And I think that the problem is that it's so good that it's impossible to make a follow-up.
I mean, we talked a lot about sequels on our first episode comparing Megan 2 and Terminator 2. This has a lot of the iterations off the first one have a lot of problems here, right? Because you can't making dinosaurs good doesn't save your movie.
Oh no, you can't they do try to make the T-Rex the good guy multiple times, but it doesn't quite work because you can't put dialogue in that character's mouth.
It's not quite the same thing, right? So what do? You just make new parts of the world and
you make a bigger bad.
Yes, exactly. And this movie tries to make the biggest bad of them all.
Big Pharma.
Yeah, the D-Rex with the big arms.
Yep.
The D-Rex.
This movie, it does start with the D-Rex. The cold open of this movie, pretty good. Or I guess, would we call it a cold open, a teaser?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it says it's 17 years earlier from when the events of this movie start.
Right.
We clearly see a lab of some kind where they are experimenting on, we don't quite know what yet. It will be revealed to us, but kind of an exciting opening. I thought the opening was okay. Like it was...
perfectly serviceable enough, right, to establish the tone of these lab workers working on something very secretive, very dangerous.
Chekhov's Snickers wrapper being the thing that ultimately undoes them.
And as the Snickers wrappers somehow cause a full lab malfunction. The D-Rex, they managed to trap the D-Rex inside, but he's
trapped inside with one of the lab workers, we have to watch as one of his coworkers watches him die.
And it's this kind of like really, it is creepy because it's like the way the hand moves, the talon moves, it looks like it's vaguely really human-like almost. You know that's not a T-Rex arm, but you know it looks like a T-Rex mouth.
So that is something that I do think that this opening does really well. I'll give it lots of credit for this. Later on in this movie, we learn that what this lab was doing was splicing DNA, like genetic mutations to make new dinosaurs for a new audience because, you know, humans were so bored with the regular dinosaurs. And so this lab that produced the D-Rex. It's a combination.
Of different dinosaurs.
And this cold open does not give that away right away because it just shows you parts of the dinosaur. A little Jaws reference. You only see parts of the creature. And we'll see the whole thing later, and it's really not pretty. But
and unlike Jaws, you never see parts of that creature ever again until you see the whole thing.
Very true. But I liked how the movie opened, and then it kind of just like really hardcore jumps into the present day.
It's a lot. There's I meant to bring this up when we talked about Megan, but there's this very interesting phenomenon I think that happens in modern movies. I can't tell if it's just me having seen a lot of movies, knowing story, or something else. But maybe, you know, if you're watching this, leave a comment or something. But I do feel like it's like modern movies take a lot of shortcuts in establishing character backstories and interactions. There's like things that are said that are meant to resonate more, but we don't. They're show don't tell, or they're tell don't show. And it's very frustrating because we get the introduction of this group of human characters in this movie very quickly.
We see Rupert Friend first, who is the head of a big pharma corporation that is looking for a cure to heart disease. A noble cause. And then seemingly out of nowhere, Scarlett Johansson is like in the back of his car. And she is some sort of undisclosed mercenary special operations bounty hunter, something very vague.
You know, gun for hire, effectively.
It's purposely vague.
And the way to, you know, increase, you know, to what they're looking to research is dinosaur hearts. Dinosaur hearts hold the key to
curing heart disease in the present day.
And so in the present day Jurassic World universe, a lot of dinosaurs have died out. They're basically kind of in zoos around the world, and now most of them live near the equator, and that's where they let the dinosaurs live, and humans aren't really allowed there legally.
No.
So that's why we're hiring Scarlett Johansson and her merry group of people to go on this mission,
including
to Mahershala Ali, and also including Jonathan Bailey's character.
Yes. Jonathan Bailey, who I thought was doing the best he could and was pretty good in this movie. He is the token paleontologist. He is a doctor who works in the museum who has never seen dinosaurs up close, not in captivity. So that's kind of how they get him on board with this.
There's also a little Easter egg where he says he studied under Alan Grant.
Of course.
So, you know, he's got some connection.
Do the throwback. But yes, we're very quickly on our way to the equator in this movie. And to your point, it is at the, you know, disservice to the audience of giving us any kind of character or background. But we do get on that boat with Mahershala Ali very quickly to the equator. And we should be off and running, shouldn't we?
And then we meet this family. who is, trying to go for one last hurrah before sending the oldest daughter off to college. It's
NYU,
a father,
of course.
NYU, yeah.
It's the only school that exists.
A father and his 2 daughters and her boyfriend, who is the can we say himbo?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I thought himbos had to be a little huskier.
I guess so, but
that's okay.
He's playing like
in spirit.
He's comedic relief. He's very attractive. He's very rude to her father.
Oh, yes.
And while they are on this, sailboat with
not the kind of boat that I would be taking into dinosaur infested waters, but okay.
Yeah, they get attacked, kind of somewhat attacked by.
They're shipwrecked.
Yeah, by the Mosasaurus, one of the dinosaurs that they're hunting. The team is hunting in a roundabout way. The Jurassic team, the main team, led by Scarlett Johansson,
they get this distress signal.
Yes, and they end up saving the family. There's this whole thing where they're
Rupert Grint is not happy about it. Rupert Friend. Sorry, Rupert Friend is not happy about saving this family, which should clue you in right away that this is our villain.
Yeah.
If him working for Big Pharma was like not a sign enough, it's this. So this family, Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson, are like, we have to save this family. So they do. They go out of their way for it. And little do they know, the dinosaur that they've been hunting is following them to the family.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah. And so they get the dino DNA after a pretty harrowing scene, pretty fun. I like the way
I did think the scene was fun.
The little this was maybe my favorite scene, to be honest. But the way the little DNA things work, it's like a rifle gun.
Parachute. Yeah,
it
that was
shoots
pretty
into
cool.
the dinosaur, picks up all the blood, and when it's done, it shoots out the DNA as a parachute, so you catch it. But then the dinosaurs come back. The Spinosaurus come back, and the Mosasaurus is there, and they're basically they're
attacking this boat.
This
boat should not be there.
They have no choice but to run straight into the island that they
shallower waters
that they're trying to get to. The family, the eldest daughter, is left to her death.
Yes, in the middle of this, this harrowing boat sequence. Yeah. The boat is going all over the place. We're tossing and turning because of the dinosaurs on each side of them, because of the waters, because of Mahershala Ali's driving skills. But yes, the oldest daughter of this family is left hanging off the boat. Yeah, like she's about to fall into the ocean, into the dino infested waters to her death. And Rupert Friend is there and he does not save her. Yeah. He just lets her fall and is like, well, she was going to call for help and I can't have that because we're not supposed to be out here. So big villain alert.
Yeah. And if you were confused about our recapping about that part of the movie, this is what happens for the whole rest of the movie.
Be prepared because this is kind of this is it.
Basically, there's as we move through the rest of the movie, there's 2 more dinosaurs that they're trying to hunt. The movie decides to go back and forth between the main group, which is Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Rupert Friend, and Jonathan Bailey. The 4 of them, as the rest of their crew has been eaten by dinosaurs or gets eaten by dinosaurs in the process.
They get picked off in the process, but then the family is still miraculously alive, including the older daughter, because the himbo boyfriend jumps in to save her. One of his most redeeming moments. Yeah. But they all end up on a different part of the island.
And they know that there's allegedly a village, which is how it's been described to the family, that there's a village on the island
with geothermal energy.
And that, and unbeknownst to the team, Scarlett Johansson has set up a exfiltration system. Yes. That if the boat,
a backup plan,
the boat doesn't move for 24 hours, right, or something, there's a certain amount of time. If there's no movement, a helicopter will come and pick them up at this village. So the goal now becomes everyone is trying to get to the village, and the main team is trying to get the dinosaur DNA.
Yes, they have 2 samples left to get. This family are just trying to survive. They're just fighting for their lives out here. Yeah. And this is where it kind of just becomes 2 movies. It just becomes 2 different movies, and I kind of would have liked either of those movies instead of the one mixture movie we got. I would have preferred either just family survival tale or mercenaries preying on dinosaurs and the dinosaurs preying on them back.
Because the amount of ping-ponging the movie doesn't allow you to really learn the characters. There's clearly more heart built into the family, but the movie seems more interested in the mechanics of the dinosaur DNAs and meeting the dinosaurs, and that you don't understand the human aspect of why Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali are even doing this besides money, which is fine. It's the
only reason that we're given for that is money, and that's okay.
But why? But why them? Why not dinosaur expert? Like that's true. That is like what blew my mind. The whole movie was like we are watching these people be so. But they're kind of adept at like moving throughout this space and kind of knowing how to read the dinosaurs as best as you can read a gigantic, dangerous creature. But I don't know. We don't know who she is. We don't know who she is. We don't know who
anything about her.
All we know is that Jonathan Bailey really liked dinosaurs when he was a kid, and Rupert.
Who doesn't? We all have that phase.
Do this thing, and that is like, I don't know. I mentioned the crowd being full yesterday. When you have a full crowd at a movie theater, you get a lot of really interesting reactions throughout the movie.
Did you get something good?
Well, I'll say this for the people watching on video. I was sitting next to a man who was Australian, and the reason I know that is because he was talking to his girlfriend the whole time. The whole movie, basically.
How quaint.
If you follow me on the internet for a while, you know that I've had a lot of movie experiences like this, where there are lots of people in the theater talking, and I've had varying experiences of telling them to stop talking. Today, I was like, you know what? The person that he's with, this woman, is quiet. The quietest movie talker I've ever heard. I wouldn't have known she was talking if he wasn't talking back at her or to her, not back at her. However, every time a scene that was confusing or bad happened, or anything like that happened, which in the case of this movie happens a lot, this is what this man would do. So if you're listening on the podcast, go watch the video version. I'm going to put the mic down right now. This is what he would do.
Okay.
And then he would lean over.
For people who are just listening, Evan just did a really good impression of like somebody very Italian talking with their hands, but with no audible sound.
Yeah, and then he would lean over and talk to his the person that he was with. And man, that plus how much this movie was going back and forth, I could not settle into this film at all.
Tough.
It was really tough. I don't know if I would ever watch this movie again. I almost want to give it like a second chance because that was happening the whole time. But like I know that he was also expressing the feelings that I was feeling,
that you were feeling quietly. Yeah.
I will say, just to tangent for a second, I was thinking about when he was doing that, I was genuinely thinking that I was going to lean over and look at him and his girlfriend while he was there talking and just stare at them until they were done, and then go back and keep doing it until he was like, "Can I help you?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm just watching the movie." And tell them I'm watching them.
That's a good approach. That's giving like second grade teacher energy. Ooh. Where they just look at you and they're like, "I'll wait."
Yeah. Okay.
I have a lot of teachers like that.
Maybe I'll do that next time.
I think I want to see how that works out for you.
I will say that he is someone that also could have beat me up. Like pretty solidly.
Try this on a smaller person. Yeah.
Anyways,
I want to say like the movie. I think that the script, it is ping ponging a lot, as you said. Yeah. I think that this is two movies, like two different Jurassic movies in the Jurassic world that we could have gotten. But maybe they are trying to go for that Spielberg all audiences feel that the first one established. And in order to do that, you can't just make a movie about mercenaries. You know, you have to have the family in there. You have to have the little girl who gets attached to the friendly dinosaur that only eats plants. Yeah,
shout out Dolores.
Shout out to Dolores. This is our Dolores.
Really thought Dolores was going to pay off in a bigger way, but right now it's just a squishmallow.
Yeah. I hope she gets her own squishmallow.
Dolores is getting her own squishmallow.
Okay. My fears have been assuaged.
And also I feel like they combined Dolores with a. Did you get the sense that it was maybe like a fusion, another mutant?
Yes. So this is definitely another mutant.
It's kind of like a small triceratops, but like standing on hind legs like a meerkat. Yeah.
This whole, I thought, pretty solidly they did a good job of showing visually that this whole movie or this whole island is mutants.
Yeah.
And I do think that it looked pretty good. I think that the visual effects looked pretty good. we mentioned this movie is directed by Gareth Edwards, who is known for his movies that are mastering visual effects.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I think it sounds good. There are pieces that are there, but the script is just not clicking together.
Yeah. I think it just is a big, like, Mahershala Ali wants to save this family because he lost his son. That's and it's
but
told
we
in a line.
We get nothing about his son. We just get that one throwaway line that's like, I broke up with my girlfriend because every time I looked at him, I saw my dead son.
Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically it.
There's a world where you could make this reading that this is like Scarlett Johansson's character from Avengers Endgame, but now in like a parallel universe, like in an afterlife where because there's a similar thing where she's like, I lost my best friend in like Hungary or something, and they're like, oh damn,
it's very Hawkeye coded.
Yeah.
But yes.
And just I don't know.
Apparently, I mean, Scarlett Johansson's been doing a lot of press for this movie.
Yeah.
She's been talking it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, good for her, but she has been very vocal about how much she wanted to do a Jurassic Park movie.
She really loves the franchise.
She loves this franchise. And that's great. I think that we should have more actors in franchises that they want to be in. Yeah. Like, don't just dangle a big paycheck and be like, we got this name. If they don't want to be there, the audience is going to know. Your heart's not in it. Yeah. And I think that Scarlett Johansson is doing her best to give this character something.
Yeah, it's very consistent what she's doing.
She's consistent. I think it's a good performance from her.
The character's very upbeat, very like a little like snarky, but not overbearing about it, you know.
Not sexualized at all, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she appreciated.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I wanted her in a different movie.
Yeah,
like give her a movie where she can be a little more badass. Like she did not really given a badass moment in this movie. Even at the very end, she is like supposed to take out the dinosaur that's hunting down the family in the convenience store, that they've been trapped, and like, you know, you see the family escape through these tunnels that are under this village that they all finally make it to.
And the village is the lab that we saw at the beginning of the movie.
Surprise! But they make it into these tunnels, and then you see the dinosaur go down into the tunnels, and you're like, oh shit. And then you see Scarlett Johansson with a gun going down into the tunnels. And you're like, oh, this is going to be her big badass moment, right? Like she's going to take this dinosaur out. And she doesn't really get it. Like she gets to shoot the dinosaur, but it's not made into like a big moment for her. Nope. Like she doesn't get a hero moment where she saves the kids. They actually give that hero moment to Mahershala Ali, which I mean, I thought was effective, but also too little too late once it happens.
Yeah, and spoiler, like we said, he survives.
It's a fake out death. It's another fake out death that I think that would have been so effective if he had died. Yeah. Like 100%. If he was actually dead and they let us feel that moment on the boat where Scarlett Johansson, like she's already lost one friend in her last job. Now she's losing her entire crew on this job. If she had to go back just the way she came, you know, alone, a loner, that would have hit a little bit better. Yeah. And it would have been more consistent with the story.
Big Australian guy, hands up on that one. Hands were thrown up at that moment.
He was done?
He was done. Okay. He threw up his hands. He took his soda. He put it in his popcorn bucket. He sat there. He shook his head. He looked at the girl next to him. It was a big...
We need to find his letterbox. If he's listening, please
I want him to listen.
Drop it.
Because you'll know who you are. You were wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. You have glasses. You're like 6'2".
You're going to go find him. Okay.
Yeah. Don't talk the whole time, man.
But then, I mean, yes, the movie, I did think that we were going to get a lot of the people in this movie are picked off and killed. Yeah. But the problem is that they are all expendable. Like,
none of those people matter.
No. And you know that immediately because all the people on this boat are people you've never seen before. Yes. They are character actors, they're side actors. So you're like, oh, these people, they're getting a nice check. They get to be in a Jurassic movie, but also they are chum.
And they're given very little dino food. Establishing screen time too. Like I wouldn't put it past that they probably shot more scenes with those actors. And there was a studio note that said, we don't want that. We want more dinosaurs. We need to get the dinosaurs faster.
What would you think, though, if those actors had been bigger names? Would it have added more? I know that bigger name actors are less likely to take that kind of role if they're just going to be picked off. But what would you think? Because I thought about this and I was thinking, what if we got another big name actor in these like supporting roles? Would there be more suspense over who lives and who dies?
Yeah.
Would there be more feeling when one of these people dies?
I think so. I mean, you sub out the female not pilot, but captain, boat, yeah,
ship driver.
That's
a job.
You sub her out for Katie O'Brien, right? Not enough to do in Mission Impossible, but would have had more to do here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Katie O'Brien, a movie I thought about on this was like Twister.
Yeah.
Twisters. Yeah. Kiernan Shipka in the beginning of Twisters is picked off at the beginning, but she was touted as being in the movie.
Exactly. Or you go as far back as to Scream. You go far back to Drew Barrymore being the like anchoring point of the marketing of the original Scream movie, and she dies in the first scene. But the reason why people were so invested was because they were like, "Oh, this is Drew Barrymore movie," and then she dies, and everyone is locked in.
Yeah.
So what if I found myself thinking that.
Interesting.
Would that have given this more stakes? Would that have been a shortcut to get us to care more about these side characters without necessarily having to delve deep into some like cheesy, overwritten backstory scenes?
Yeah, I that's a really interesting point, because I usually think that sometimes we just need more with those characters. We need more from them, but you're right. That stuff, I think people don't want to take that risk, or they do it and it's cut out of the movie because it just takes too much time, right?
So
yeah, that's a great point.
I'm here all day.
Yeah, because then off the referencing Twisters, like that was something where I was like, well, maybe because in the throes of this movie and the guy next to me, I was like, did they need a tragic relationship with dinosaurs? Was that maybe what could have been, that like the money was worth it to face the thing? Like that's Twisters, right? Like the idea of helping people is worth going back into the storm. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean,
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not sold on any of it.
100%.
And I think, I think that the movie, I think everyone who's working on this movie is trying their best to sell it to you, but ultimately it's not worth selling.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think that there's not going to be a lot of great positive buzz around this movie. You've mentioned that certain movies have really long legs at the box office. I am going to make a little prediction. I don't think this is going to have really long legs because they're releasing it over a holiday weekend, and I think if the buzz is bad, it might just be short-lived. But I don't know. Do you really think that this franchise will die?
No.
I think this is the beginning of another trilogy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just really grateful that we're out of the Chris Pratt realm, for one. And I think this movie is too.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. I mean, not that those movies were not successful for Universal or for Jurassic, but this movie, if you watch the first Jurassic Park movie, and then you watch maybe Jurassic Park 2, shout out to Steven Spielberg. He came back for his own sequel. And you watch the original trilogy. You could jump right into this one. You don't, like, nothing from Jurassic World is left over for this movie. Yeah. It's pretty much a hard reboot.
Yeah, I would say so. Maybe there's like some, hardcore fans that are like, oh, you missed this detail or something. But
I'm sure that I did. Come at me. Come for me.
And what I will say in favor of this movie is that I really like how, obviously Jurassic Park, right? It's about parks and theme park experiences.
Right.
But what's interesting now that it's like, okay, can you keep like, at some point, no one's going to want to rebuild the park. So if the dinosaurs are in the world, as the franchise title suggests, Jurassic World, is it, I love this idea now that it's completely contradicting what I just said earlier, of these people who just, they're living their own lives just in tandem with dinosaurs, right? People who don't have a relationship with dinosaurs previously, and are just like, well, now these are just another threat.
This is just part of our life. Yeah.
And the different perspectives of this, is interesting. I think this movie, it wants to be full of suspense.
Yeah. And is mostly in a secluded location with a monster lurking somewhere, mostly off screen, picking off the crew one by one, as we've mentioned.
Yeah.
What movie does that remind you of?
I mean, I'm going to have to say Alien.
Really? Because I was also thinking Ridley Scott's Alien. Except that in Alien, I care.
Yeah. And also, you know, Alien will probably sell some like action figures and stuff. Is anyone going out to buy the D-Rex? That thing is so scary.
The D-Rex, which I'm sure of it. Has been brought up on the internet somewhere already. The D-Rex is a blatant ripoff of the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like another one of those like penis-headed kind of looking monsters.
Yeah, I do. Man, I just on the D-Rex, right? Like it really only shows at the beginning and the end, but when it comes back in the end, that shot through the fog, the helicopter, that stuff was really cool.
It was cool. It looked
definitely
good,
give the movie that,
and it was scary.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna give it to Gareth Edwards. This movie looks good.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think maybe David Koepp, Black Bag was your bag this year. That was it. That was your gold.
Yeah, your creative bag for sure.
The creative bag. I'm sure not as big a financial bag as this one, but
there's definitely the connection there with Alien, right? I mean, there's also other ways to like look at like another movie that could follow this up, or as a double feature, right?
Yeah.
Like, is there a world where we find a more refreshing Scarlett Johansson performance, right?
Right. Do we delve deeper into a role that she was really given like a chance to go deep into a character or explore a new facet of herself as an actress that we don't normally get to see? Do we pair this with Marriage Story? Is that what we're gonna do? Is that what we're gonna do? I'm gonna make you sing Being Alive if we do that.
Oh, interesting. A story that also ping pongs between two different groups of people.
Wow, you're so right. But the common theme in that one is just divorce. Not dinosaurs. Different monster.
Same, but it starts with a D.
It's a different monster. It starts with a D. But yeah, that would be an interesting angle to take.
Part of me was thinking like Goonies is interesting.
Yes.
There's like, can you do an adventure movie? Do Avengers movies only work with like a childlike whimsy or wonder or something? Obviously, Indiana Jones movies, and
right.
I'm sure I'm missing
Indiana
other stuff.
Jones definitely came to mind for me, and it did occur to me to do a Spielberg movie with this in pairing, not just because I mean Jurassic Park has originated with Spielberg, and I don't think it would be fair to compare this movie to Jurassic Park original, but to compare it to one of his other all ages masterworks, that is for families and that does center around family, which is a huge theme for Spielberg. So I thought of Indiana Jones. I thought of E.T. That has a creature that is used for good. Wicked, TM. But But yeah, I think this movie is pulling from a lot of different movies that we could approach. It's just a matter of how we want to see it. So Evan, how do we want to see it?
I don't know. This is so tricky because I haven't seen any of those movies that we've just discussed in a pretty long time. I think the most recent film I've seen out of like those is like Goonies. I saw that for the first time maybe last year, 2 years ago.
I personally throw on Marriage Story every month.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me why I want to get married.
Okay.
Is it
for
really
the divorce?
Is it really strange that when I first saw Marriage Story at the Egyptian Theater in theaters with a packed audience, I walked out of that movie and people were like crying, and you could tell that those were definitely like children of divorce, or people going through their own divorces, and I was just like, I still want to get married.
Did you see it as a double feature or no?
No.
Okay. I was wondering if we were there the same night. I saw it as a double feature with Patterson, Adam Driver, Jim Jarmusch, and Adam Driver Patterson.
That's a good double feature, right there.
Really interesting one. Yeah. I don't know, because I'm like, Alien is Alien too similar to Terminator 2 though? Like that, like the vibes,
No,
I mean, not that we have to compare it to the other thing,
What's so interesting about Alien is that it's slightly different genre. Like it's not quite all ages. It is horror. It is leaning more into the creature feature realm, which I think that Jurassic Park can do at its best. It can be part creature feature and part all audiences gem.
I think, I wish the creature feature was like part of it was bigger. Like, I mean, it was like, okay, just here's another
literally
thing.
Bigger, because that D-Rex was pretty large.
Yeah, pretty big arms.
Yeah. Which is a tough. Mutation because T-Rex got those small arms.
Yeah. Part of me is like, am I not agreeing to Alien because I'm just scared to see the chest burster?
Evan, part of why we're starting this podcast is so that you can face your fears at the theater. Or on your couch.
Well, when we were talking about this, I originally suggested the movie Splice, which is another DNA type movie. I saw a reaction from Matt there. Splice is a crazy movie. I actually was assigned it to watch it in film school. We had but not for a film class, for a random class where I was taking. We watched it in class. I was there for an hour, watched the first hour of it. I said, this movie, too scary for me mentally. And I went home. I have
not seen it, so I'm like hoping that we don't choose that one here, but just so that I don't need to know.
And we're both
I don't want to know the faces you're making. I don't want the context.
That's a creature feature.
Well, I mean, I looked up just Google images of Splice, and I was pretty freaked out. Like that shit fucked me up.
Yeah, it's freaky. Ponzi the cat just wrapped its tail around my neck like the creature in Splice.
And that's our sign to not do Splice. Yeah. But I don't know.
Is there an adventure movie that maybe, because that is like refreshing too, to find to know how you can pair both, or is it even Gareth Edwards? Is it going back and watching what is his first movie was what, like The Monsters or something? Am I mixing it up? Am I mixing it with someone else? Because there was the string of three dudes, right?
You're right. Let's
Gareth
find
Edwards,
out.
Colin Trevorrow, and someone else that all got like big franchise deals really quickly.
Yeah, you're correct about that. I know his
Rogue.
Yeah,
it was
right.
Monsters.
You're right about
Monsters, Godzilla.
Can we go back to Godzilla? The Creator, which I did not see, but I don't know. I think. Are you forgetting 2023 masterpiece, The Creator?
I do. No, I remember. I saw
believe he won
I was thinking that was a good thing
for it. But.
You know, I was seeing a flash from or I got a heads up from Matt off in the corner. He showed me the picture of Monster House.
Oh. Did he do Monster House?
No. As a movie to watch.
Oh, to watch. Okay. That is an adventure.
Monster House.
A kind of a children's adventure with a creature twist.
Yeah.
Good shout to Matt.
Different groups, different teams of people moving through the world, moving through the house.
I think it's too mean to compare it to a true all-audience masterpiece. I think that the way to tackle this one is to pick one of the pieces that it's giving us.
Yeah, you're right.
And analyze. I think we should go creature.
Yeah.
Because, Evan, in space, no one can hear you scream. That's the tagline to Alien that Evan doesn't know.
And you know where else no one can hear you scream? In the sponsor section. We'll be right back and talking about Alien. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, this is where we would put a sponsor if we had a sponsor. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching the episodes. Let us know what you thought about Jurassic World Rebirth, of course.
Please.
Stick around for the Alien conversation. I'm excited to watch it in full for the first time. The other time,
yeah. Evan.
I fell asleep.
What?
Because I was tired.
Okay. I'm not going to cut that because I want Ridley Scott to know that that's out there. I want him to know.
Yeah, listen, I fall asleep in movies all the time. It has nothing to do with the content of the movie itself. It's just because I get a little tired.
This podcast is going to change you for good.
Wicked.
Coming soon.
All right, we're done.
We're just like universal. Welcome back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby. We are coming to you live from the Nostromo ship.
Yeah.
Via Zoom because technology is advanced in the year 2025, which is still not the year that we're in the movie Alien. We are back to talk about our second film, our double feature, which is Alien, the 1979 film by Ridley Scott. Only his second feature.
That's wild, yeah.
Pretty crazy record. Is directed by Ridley Scott, written by Dan O'Bannon, with a story by O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. Stars Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Ian Holm, and Yaphet Kotto. Evan, you watched this for the very first time. I
mean, yeah,
technically second, but basically the first time.
Yeah,
and
when I
what
watched
are your
it,
instant thoughts?
Yeah, when I watched it, it was with a double feature with Aliens, and it was pretty late at night. I think we started at like 11 p.m. This was when I was like 19. So you could start a first movie at 11 p.m. and be ready for a second movie.
Right.
And so I think I fell asleep before Ian Holmes' death.
Oh, before? Okay.
Yeah. So the alien was scurrying around the ship and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, Aliens had just like basically started. And so I was truly so lost. So seeing this movie for the first time and with not falling asleep at all, I thought it was great. I thought it was so like the atmosphere and tone were just impeccable. I really thought there's just like so much, in this movie, and it's just so well designed from both a physical production design standpoint and like a story standpoint. Like the way the suspense builds as this kind of creature picks crew members off one by one. One of the things we tagged about Jurassic World Rebirth, but very different when it's a singular threat versus different threats in the world.
Right, exactly. Another similarity that we have between Alien and Jurassic World Rebirth / the Jurassic Park franchise is that Alien is the first film in that has spanned a franchise that lasts to this day. So both of them are pretty iconic franchises, but this is the start, and Jurassic World Rebirth is the most recent. We should mention that Alien, like I said, still going. They're coming out with, I believe, a television show like next month. Noah Hawley is doing an Alien show for FX. There have been multiple sequels in recent years that are kind of soft reboots. There was one last year.
Which takes. Yeah. Did you see Alien Romulus?
I did not.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I believe it takes place between this and Aliens. Right. I think after the Prometheus era, there was a lot of interesting ways that like Ridley Scott and the expanded, I guess, like the Alien team have decided to start like inserting little facets of story in between big moments in like the franchise lore. And with the Predator franchise like starting to take off again, it seems like I think they might be teasing another like Weyland-Yutani connection in the new Predator Badlands movie that's coming out soon with Elle Fanning. So I mean the future looks bright for this franchise.
Which we spoke about this in the first half of the pod. We're not so sure how bright the future is for the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park franchise, but there almost definitely will be more of them because I'm sure ScarJo did not sign on for one movie.
She loves it. She's such a big fan.
She loves it. I'm sure she signed that 3-picture deal. Good for her.
Do you think that they would be able to, something we talked about with Jurassic World Rebirth is like, if there's a trilogy of movies, would it always be Scarlett Johansson's character, right? And Mahershala Ali? Because I do think that there's something, something that was appealing to me about the movie is just like, this is the world now and there are dinosaurs in it. Like it could be a whole new cast because I'll be honest, like walking away from that movie, I don't feel like I want to know more about these characters as opposed to Alien where you're like, well, you just saw Sigourney Weaver be so cool and now she's going to sleep. What's going to happen next? You
want to know, You want to know where she's going to wake up and what's going to happen when she wakes up. And what's going to happen to the cat, which I remember the first time I saw this movie a long time ago, I was very concerned about the cat, and that did not change. I was still concerned about the cat, and this was maybe the 6th time I've seen this movie, and I know that the cat makes it, and I was still like, please get Jonesy.
I was so surprised the cat got its own like cryo chamber too.
It has to.
It has to. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense if it didn't. I just don't remember seeing it in the beginning, or maybe because I forgot that there was a cat. That I was like, oh, look, they're all waking up, but I didn't see the little cat-sized one.
Something we spoke about with Jurassic World Rebirth is how it really, like, the beginning of it does not take much time to establish characters, to establish the world or the setting. It's just kind of taking a lot of shortcuts, a lot of tropes used to establish something for the audience without much explanation, which is fine. But something admirable about this movie is that, God, does it take its time.
Yeah.
It really, the whole first hour of Alien, you don't see that alien. You don't see even like a piece of the alien, like it's just about the crew of these people who are essentially like long haul truckers for space. We don't get much. Something I really like about all of the setup is that we don't get much clarity about their lives back on Earth. Like, like they don't really even talk about, oh, I gotta get home to my kid, or I gotta get home for this reason, that reason. Like, this movie shows you that you don't have to dive into like cheesy backstory or like,
that's a good point,
traditional character stuff to make people care about these characters, because we care. In the whole first hour, it's setting it up, and by the time we get to, reaching the actual point where the alien is a threat aboard the ship, we're like, oh no, do not go off alone. That is a bad idea. I mean, I think that they present the immediate situation as more relatable, right? It's like these guys have been woken up early on a long drive. They just want to go home, but now they're diverted to do something else, which potentially could be a good thing, but they are kind of like, dang, this kind of sucks that we got woken up for this potential distress signal, because it would be really nice to get home and get all that money that we were promised. Right.
Which makes me think like
similarity with Jurassic World is that the money is the motivator, which is okay. That is a common shortcut. We would all maybe risk our lives for that many zeros. So, but that is very similar.
But then when we're given more time with the characters kind of like deciding to do that, kind of, you are like, well, what is, or at least personally, I was like, well, what is like is there another why beyond this? And then the justification for that was like, didn't really quite work for me, right? Which is like, I just got to get out of this life. Well, it's like, well, we haven't seen you in this life. As opposed to, I think what happens in this movie where part of, I think what helps them ease the mind in that moment is that we're starting more immediately in the action, right? Like, imagine if we had started Jurassic World Rebirth and they're already on the boat. They're on the boat and they're on the way to the island. That's a very different start. And we're slowly learning the dynamics between everybody, like who's the captain, who's actually, like behind things, and then like again this like, oh, we have to divert to go save this family, and then things kick off, right? This, because it allows like the mystery of these characters to be revealed in ways that help service the story, as opposed to just them telling you what they are. Because also, this is, I think, if people have never seen Alien before, it was very interesting experience to watch this movie knowing Ash was like a double agent, kind of.
Right. Yeah. You I mean, I think it's fairly obvious once you've seen it to go back and be like, oh, of course he's the bad guy. He's suspicious from the start, but I think that his reveal still holds up. Like his actual reveal, like you aren't actually expecting what happens to Ash in this movie, but I want to step back before we get to that reveal. I want to talk about what you mentioned, which is we don't totally know whose movie this is for like the first hour. Yeah. Because we are just slowly getting to know this crew. And I think that the movie does something really clever where they put Sigourney in the back seat a little bit for the first hour. Like, she does not take center stage. She has that scene. I would say the movie becomes hers in that scene where she is first given the chance or the choice to open the hatch for the infected member of her crew.
Yeah.
And she is saying no. She is saying, like, that would break quarantine procedures. This man has been harvesting some very questionable looking eggs on this island, this planet, and he gets an alien to the face is how we can describe it. It pierces his helmet, and the other two crew members arrive in the hatch, and Sigourney Weaver is like, sorry, that would break quarantine procedures. That would, risk all of our lives if I open it up for you. And then lo and behold, she gets overthrown or overruled by Ash, and he opens the hatch anyway. And I think that after that, we're following her and her kind of disgruntledness over like being disobeyed. And, her and Ash even have this whole conversation over, this is my call. And Ash is like, sorry, girl. Essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that scene kind of gives her a certain amount of control and a certain amount of focus to be paying attention to her. But it is interesting, but that moment doesn't really come until, I want to say, almost 40 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it also then just like is in the backseat of your mind or back of your mind the whole time, where you're like, well, this all could have been prevented if they listened to her. Like if they just didn't do that. And then
what
it also
year
makes
is this supposed to be? We're still not listening to women. God damn it.
Very prescient.
It's like 2037, 2039, something like that.
Yeah.
Still nope.
It also makes like Dallas really suspicious too, I think, for like the first time. I mean, even not as a first time watcher, you are kind of like, well, why is he doing this? Like, why does he need Kane to come back so badly?
Yes.
But yeah, I think there is this, it plays with this interesting dynamic of, very much like Nathan Fielder, the rehearsal, working with like co-pilots and pilots, right? Like what happens when the second in command has a better decision and they don't listen,
exactly. All of this could have been avoided if they just listened to Ellen Ripley herself. And yeah, from there it gets a little dicey, and you're right, you are thinking the whole time. And I did watch this, my girlfriend was watching it for the first time, and she kind of was saying like, wait a second, so they could have just not brought in the alien guy to be operated on. Like, that was an option. They just said no. And it's like, no. Ash said no.
Yeah.
And yeah, as soon as they start trying to take the alien physically off of, I believe, Kane's face, the movie takes a turn, because it's like emitting some like acidic blood.
Yeah.
that is like burning a hole into the hull of the ship. And it is, even if there was no alien, that's a threat. Like immediately, that's a threat to their system. That's a threat to the ship. It's bad from the get-go.
Like when they were running down there, I was like, "What? How do they even stop the acid from burning through the ship? Because if it burns through the ship, it's gonna burn through a bucket or something. What, are you gonna just like keep catching it in buckets or something?" No,
you can't. Like, it's just gonna like make a hole in your ship, and you won't be able to breathe. That's it.
Yeah.
But from there, we are kind of following the progress of this astronaut who has the alien, or more commonly known now in pop culture as the face hugger, on his face. And we're following his progress. And yes, Kane eventually wakes up and he has no alien on his face. And Evan, what was your reaction to that? When he just wakes up and he seems fine. He's just like a little thirsty.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about the chest burster just from like common like pop culture, but I didn't know that it just like detaches from his face. I thought somehow it just like inserted itself into his body and then like hatches or whatever.
Yeah, so when it did that, I forgot when the chest burster scene happened, so I was like literally like pillow over face, like just like one eye exposed, being like, is it now?
No, okay. The chest burster scene, one of the most iconic moments in all of sci-fi cinema, if not cinema, period, lives in the pop culture now in many television and film iterations of it. But you kind of know, like, Ridley Scott does an incredible job of making it so ominous. Like they're just sitting down to have a meal together, and you're thinking like, okay, this is the midpoint of this movie. It's smack in the middle of the movie that he, Kane seemingly alive, just eating some kind of space cereal at the table, and then he just starts coughing.
Yeah.
and you just know, in the way that like when a character in like a period piece starts coughing, you're like, oh no, time to die. And I guess I'm sure the story. I feel like everyone knows the story, even if they haven't seen the movie, that the crew, the other actors who are portraying the crew in that scene, were not told about the chest burster. So they had no idea that was going to happen. They didn't know that the blood was going to spray. So all of their reactions are completely genuine terror.
I didn't know that, actually.
Really?
That's so wild. Yeah. That, like, because the actress who plays what's her name, Lamont, when the or Lambert, sorry, when when it like goes on her face, it like that was crazy. She looked so
that's real.
Yeah, that's naughty.
A completely real reaction whenever all of them are just covered in blood. It's something that we don't do things like that anymore.
Yeah.
But that is the moment, the midpoint of the movie where everything takes a turn and this kind of slow roll into the action is over and it's go time.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think that Jurassic World Rebirth really wants to be doing. Like, I think that in the mind of that movie, they're doing this. They're doing kind of like the first 40 minutes of that movie are kind of the slow roll where they're introducing you to the crew, to the family, to all of this, and then there's dinosaurs. But I think you identified something really interesting, which is that this movie, Alien, has the same predator, the same, villain, creature, chasing it down.
Right?
The same threat.
Yeah.
The same threat for the entire movie. Whereas Jurassic World Rebirth has several different threats. Different dinosaurs, different elements on the island, and within each other, which I suppose we do get a little bit in Alien, because Ash is a threat within the crew. They just don't know it right away.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to throw Ripley around like that and like rip out her hair. Like that like surprised me for sure. Because I was like, how do we get to the point where he is just ahead? I was like, is there a second chest burster?
No. So shortly after the chest burster scene, we on the crew realize that we're dealing with a real threat. The alien kind of explodes from Kane's chest and goes off someplace on the ship. And it's up to the crew now to hunt down this alien and try to contain it, or as Dallas says, let's just blast this thing into space.
Right.
This is too much of a threat. We can't really contain it. It's an unknowable entity. Mm-hmm. So that's the plan going forward. Even Ripley is on board. She's like, everybody's on board. Everybody is listening to Dallas. It's another moment where you think, okay, maybe Ripley is not in charge here. But very shortly, poor Dallas is taken out in his own attempt to get rid of the alien, and Ripley is officially in charge.
Yeah, and
the
Harry...
only person in her way is Ash.
Right.
Yes, we should shout out Harry Dean Stanton, who also gets picked off in this sequence of the film, looking for the cat. The cat, again, cat lives, cat's thriving.
Yeah.
But R.I.P. Harry Dean Stanton's character.
We should say too, like, I think because part of it, right, like that they are facing this like overarching threat that is the same. That we touched on this in our Terminator episodes as well, but like having character deaths matter. Like this is a moment where it's like, because they're facing the same threat over and over again, you almost feel like they're learning together, and part of the learning is like sacrificing the rest of their team in in certain ways, right? As opposed to like, there's many movies that are you face have crews that get picked off by multiple different things, right? And that's fine. I just think the way that it comes across in Jurassic World is that it's so many people that die up front, and then they're too afraid to kill off major characters or bigger actors, which is something we touched on earlier, like that it ends up being like when Rupert Friend is like the only one who dies, you're just like, well, he kind of had it coming,
Yeah, and that's a Spielberg thing that they're ripping from Spielberg, the original Jurassic Park auteur. That is very common in his movies. If you are outwardly evil, R.I.P., you're out. Like there aren't very many villains that survive in Spielberg movies. So kind of from the jump, like Rupert Friend, you're not long for this world, for this Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Whereas, I feel like we now at the point where Ripley officially takes over command, and half of the crew at this point has been killed by the alien. Then it gets down to the scene that you were referring to earlier with Ripley versus Ash, and Ripley kind of sneaks into Ash's lair and kind of communicates with Mother, the ship's interface, and learns that there was an underlying mission. And this is the kind of a secondary twist, but that lends a lot of clarity to the chestburster and to why Dallas and Ash were so intent on letting Kane and the alien aboard the ship, which is that the company that they work for is not really even interested in the ore or whatever it is that they're bringing back to Earth. They want that alien, which, at all costs. They do not care. It says crew expendable. Everyone else, it's like, as long as the alien is aboard that ship, they don't care who comes back, if anybody. So Ripley figures this out. She sees this, and she is attacked by Ash. And at that point, if you haven't realized already, Ash is not human, because people are coming in to like take Ash out, and he's just like standing there like with some kind of superhuman strength that is to really like, he's trying to shove a rolled up magazine down Sigourney Weaver's throat. It's tough. It's a tough scene, and like 3 crew members can't get him off of her. And then Evan, what do we learn about Ash?
That he is a robot and and he's kind of cruel, he's just like, he doesn't teach them how to, obviously we don't know what Weyland-Yutani knows about the alien, that I'm sure is explored in the Prometheus kind of group of movies, but as far as this movie is concerned, we don't know what they know. And when they try to reboot him, he kind of, he reveals that was their mission. And he's like, you have my sympathies. And it's just like with a little smile before they power him down.
Yes, he tells them pretty much straight up, like, there is no hope of survival here.
Yeah.
You're dead. So our crew that is left at this point is not going to take that lying down, especially with Ripley now firmly at the helm. So, Evan, what is the plan from here?
They decide they've got to take their chance with the shuttle, get off the Nostromo. They need more coolant, and then they send Parker and
Lambert.
I keep forgetting her name. Parker and Lambert to go get the coolant, and that like sends them to their death, basically. As the
alien is waiting.
Yeah, and Ripley hears this. She tries to make her way to the. She sets the Nostromo to explode. She tries to make her way to the shuttle again, and she like can't. right? She gets stopped.
Right.
Because the alien is there.
The alien is there. She realizes that the alien is there. It's not clear, but the alien realizes that she is there. Because it does not attack her at that moment. But I want to shout out, Sigourney Weaver is amazing. Going forward in the last half hour of this movie, it's a one-woman show.
Yeah.
She is incredible in this last stretch. Right from when she is listening to, she's hearing the deaths of Parker and Lambert. She's hearing it. Like, she knows that the alien got him, and she's listening to the last source of hope for her team making it out of this diminish. And yeah, that's another moment that we don't really get in Jurassic World Rebirth. Not to keep harping on the deaths in that movie and how they don't matter, but even, Mahershala's homeboy there, he is like the one that he has the most screen time with, his sort of co-captain that he's been, piloting the boat with in the beginning of the movie, gets swallowed up by some kind of pterodactyl flying dinosaur. And like, there's barely even a moment of, God, my best friend is dinosaur food. Yeah. There's not even like a real reaction. And I get that the movie is trying to propel you forward and be like, there's no time to even grieve these people because we just got to keep moving. But yeah, I think that what makes Alien's depiction of the team member pick off more powerful is that it's not that there's no reaction, it's that the way that it is folded into the deaths and the suspense going into the final showdown between Ripley and this alien is just done at much more of a paramount point.
Yeah. And it also feels more important because not only is it like literal like life or death in space, but it is also like we have seen this group of people go up against this alien time and time again, and they keep losing people. Like, can she actually manage to get out?
Right.
And it feels more paramount.
There is, you're right. There's this moment where you realize, and it's as Ripley is she's decided, yes, to take her chances in the shuttle. She does take Jonesy the cat with her. Amazing move. But she is setting the ship itself to self-destruct. And you realize that she is like, okay, I'm going to try and save myself. But at this moment, if I blow up with this ship, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to take to eliminate this alien from returning to Earth. And sort of, the implication is that it's going to be studied and used as a weapon. Mm-hmm. So, and now that she has been facing this weapon for an hour and a half, she is seeing the importance of it and not returning to Earth. Mm-hmm. But she does get on the shuttle. We do see the self-destruction take place. She is safely aboard the shuttle. She's getting ready to go back into her cryo sleep. And Evan, what happens?
The alien's just sitting there. Why is he sitting there?
But I kind of love it. I kind of love this element that we see of the alien, that it's waiting. It's waiting. Like this alien knows, like, okay, it's just me and you now. Like, there's an intelligence that they're playing with in this threat. Yeah. That, I mean, even Jonathan Bailey calls it right out in Jurassic World Rebirth. He's like, dinosaurs are dumb. They're not that smart. Like, right. But that doesn't make them less dangerous. But what makes the alien more dangerous and scarier to the audience and to Ripley is that, she sees the alien. It's unclear if the alien sees her. Maybe it is. Maybe it's staring her down and we just don't know. But she takes her time. She suits up. She like establishes like a game plan, and the alien's just waiting because alien knows, like, it's me or you. And based on the alien's track record in this movie, the alien's probably feeling pretty good. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, especially if she lets her guard down, right? Like, as soon as she goes in, it's just like all you have to do is like crack open the chamber. Yeah.
But eventually, Ellen Ripley saves the day.
Yeah.
She saves herself, and she saves Jonesy, and she saves Earth for now. And how does she get rid of this alien but using the tactics that Dallas set forth or pitched in the beginning of just blast this motherfucker to space?
Yeah.
So we see her very stealthily, very quietly. Again, the movie takes its time letting her suit up, put on a helmet, get that grappling hook gun, and there, it's a great moment where you just see the doors open and you realize that her life is still in danger. Like, even if she gets rid of the alien, there's danger here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so wild that she's like, after all of the whole movie, this build up and like carrying a flamethrower around basically the whole time, that it's like, here we go.
Which is iconic.
Yeah.
Completely badass, the flamethrower.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, that, we kind of like paired this movie with Jurassic World Rebirth, because like just thinking about like the way the alien serves as a threat, I guess like part of the theme of the Jurassic Park franchise in general is that like dinosaurs aren't always scary, right? Like, that's part of it, right. Which is why we have that like moving moment with the two like land dinosaurs that with the long tails, and it's like this like kind of like loving moment where we found out that Jonathan Bailey played the clarinet solo that goes like him as a real person played.
The internet sleuthed this out for us.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey, now we know he plays the clarinet, and he's just that's another threat to our humanity that he poses.
Yeah. So I guess it's like it's tougher for maybe the franchise notes to be like, well, we could have had the D-Rex hunting them the whole time, but could we have come up with like 3 to 4 plausible ways that the D-Rex would be able to escape the D-Rex while still trying to get like all of this maybe like heart, blood samples from the dinosaurs. Like, there's a version of this movie that is like, we only need 1 blood sample, but that dinosaur is like really rare, hard to find. The last known sighting was on the island, so if we can find it, that'd be great. And then that way you're chasing that thing that maybe isn't a threat, but the D-Rex is the thing that's hunting them down because it's maybe like the king of the island or something. But what we get instead is this like pseudo treasure hunt type thing, even though we're posed with a really scary D-Rex at the beginning of the movie that doesn't come back to the end, and where this like weird relationship that now we have with the dinosaurs on this island that humans aren't even allowed to be on anymore. There's a lot of interesting themes that I think the movie is generally grappling with, where it's like, there's the line that the little girl has where she's like, I wish they had never come back, right? It's like, should we have brought it back at all? And obviously the worst form of it is this weird T-Rex with 4 arms and an alien-like head, but I guess like, if they do decide to do another movie, like, it does feel like we got to go back and kill the D-Rex because it's still out there. Kind of similar to Aliens, it's still out there, right?
Right. The threat doesn't go away at the end of this movie. And I mean, this was in a time before, sequels were a given. This movie was a massive success, and it does end with just kind of Ripley succeeding against the alien, but going back to sleep, going back into the cryo chamber.
Yeah.
And it's unclear if there's going to be a sequel or not.
Yeah.
And whereas Jurassic World, I think, is like, we're still on this boat. What could happen next?
They could easily get picked off by another Mosasaurus or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do a couple of minutes here on the kind of the creature feature. And how Alien is not the first movie to do this, and Jurassic is not the first movie to iterate on it. I think that in a lot of ways, Alien owes a lot to another earlier Spielberg movie, and I'm not talking about Close Encounters, I'm talking about Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws is 4 years before this movie, and it is, a creature blockbuster in the way that this was not necessarily designed to be a blockbuster, but it became one. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the creature and the suspense element. We talked about this a little bit earlier, how you don't see the shark in Jaws for a long time, and you don't see the alien in this movie for a long time. You know, like, it keeps building. The movie is called Alien, and that movie is called Jaws. So you know you're going to get a shark, you know you're going to get an alien. It's not a secret. But the fact that the movie can build up that level of suspense in its audience and in its characters is a real feat that we're still trying to emulate today.
Yeah, 100%. And I think part of, you know, I think it's both these movies have like presented pretty simply, right? At the initial problem at first, right? Jaws, there's a shark that attacked a person and it's still out there. There's an alien that killed our crew member and it's on our ship, right? It's not, there's 3 dinosaurs we have to find on an island to get their DNA, but this island's also really dangerous because there's mutant dinosaurs, but not all of them are mutant.
Yeah. It's not overcomplicated. And I think that, yes, like this Alien is an Alien or Jaws, a great parallel to Jurassic World Rebirth, because we're seeing what is being iterated on. You're seeing the original blueprint for this creature feature that is being elaborated on time and time again.
Yeah.
And when we were talking a little bit before about the genre of Alien and the genre of Jurassic World Rebirth, and we talked about the all-audience factor that Spielberg movies have, and how Jurassic World Rebirth is very clearly trying to be that all-audiences blockbuster. Universal wants the bag. That's okay.
Yeah.
They know that this is a proven franchise that has appeal to families, to adults, to the real dino heads out there. But what if it weren't so concerned with that, is something that just occurred to me. I'm thinking about Alien and how Alien became a blockbuster, but did not set out to be one, and is very much just a genre movie. And what if we leaned into that with the future of the Jurassic World franchise? What if there was a straight up R-rated Jurassic World? You know, can we get to a point where this franchise is different things, you know, is different for different audiences, or will it always be stuck in all audience zone?
I think it will be, you know, it's kind of like this question that we used to discuss a lot, where it's like, what is a Star Wars movie? Can a Star Wars movie be a Star Wars movie without lightsabers, without, you know, what makes a Star Wars movie, right? What does it absolutely need? And I think you can apply that question to like, what is a Jurassic Park movie? You know, what makes one? And part of that is like, you have the first one did such a great job of, you know, fusing those themes of like theme park entertainment, like childhood whimsy, and as well as like real dangers and like real scientific implications. So to answer your question, I feel like it's tough to imagine this not still having like an entryway for kids. I think part of what the Jurassic franchise has maybe smartly done is like there's a few animated shows right now, Camp Cretaceous and like Chaos Theory, that like are specifically targeted for a younger audience, and they might be trying to like, you know, figure out like, well, if we have that, like, is there a world that there's a movie, a theatrical entry that's more squarely like for kids, and can we make one that is more squarely like for adults? But I don't know what that looks like. That isn't just like get off the island again, right? You know?
Yeah, it's tough to imagine what it would be, but we did talk a little bit in the first half of this pod about how Jurassic World Rebirth feels like 2 movies, and I wonder now if the answer is that it just should have been 2 movies, and one is following the family, and that it's more of the family-friendly entry, and then there's another entry with Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, and it is more of the like R-rated, scary thriller, you know, mercenaries that are taking on the threat of Dinosaur Island by themselves. But yeah, I think that this movie is trying to iterate so clearly on the franchise that birthed it, but also other large entry points and sort of, speaking of Star Wars, it kind of is trying to just do a Force Awakens. Like it just kind of is like a reboot, like a hard reboot, like this is the start of a new trilogy. But it also takes, in the way that the Force Awakens is essentially just a new hope in a new timeline. That kind of feels like what Jurassic World Rebirth is. It's Jurassic Park in a new timeline.
Yeah.
The same beats are kind of there, down to, you were mentioning that Jonathan Bailey moment with the majestic, like gentle moment with the dinosaurs. That's the same thing that happens in Jurassic Park with Laura Dern, right? And the sick Triceratops, and that gentle moment. All of those beats are still there.
Yeah, because part of the like what feels key to the franchise is that moment, right? Like there should still always be a point where you're like, no matter if the decision was right or wrong, it is like a wonder that like we can have these things exist. Part of it though is tricky when like the effects back then were like stunning versus now when I'm like, I don't know, I don't think I need to see like alien, like dinosaur tails like spin like that. It feels kind of like a video game.
It does, and I mean, this is very cynical of me, but even when you mention like why, there is a version of this movie where it was just the D-Rex the whole time. Part of me thinks that it couldn't be that because they want to sell more toys. Like they want to sell more mutant dinosaur toys. So there have to be like several different mutant dinosaurs. Whereas, I mean, why not just design one threat that is iconic? I mean, the xenomorph is so iconic that the D-Rex quite literally is a ripoff of like a dinosaur version of the xenomorph. Like, and even if you've never seen an alien movie, you've seen a xenomorph. I promise you.
Yeah, you've seen a xenomorph in Fortnite. He's in Fortnite.
Exactly. Like you've seen him somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any closing thoughts, Evan, as kind of the first time you saw this movie?
On Alien?
Why you think it stands the test of time? Why you think that it's
I think it just
good pair?
The perfect, I think like as far as like the legacy, I think it is just the perfect mix of like you said, you don't know if it's going to get a sequel, so it has just the right amount of like world building that you understand what's going on, but you want to know a little bit more, right? It's like, how did they know that they could find a weapon like this in space? Why is it like kind of what is the civilization even look like right now that these guys are like long haul trucking throughout space, and what is the implications now that like, okay, we found something alien, but it wasn't exciting necessarily that we found that, they find that dead, the dead alien in the beginning. They're like, well, another alien life form. It's like, well, what is the contact, so there's more questions. And of course the biggest one being like, well, did they really kill the xenomorph, and if there's more out there, we know there's eggs out there, so there's
we know there are more,
it will be a threat. So that's I think it's like satisfying to see a version where, like you said, you don't have to spend all this time with the characters to understand them and then to feel something when they die, right? And this movie does a good job of showing like how you can just get into it a little bit later, even though it does take a lot of establishing time, but get into like a point in their whole journey a little bit later to understand that like these are these people and it's gonna suck that they're all about to get like killed off. Versus Jurassic World, which I think like we talked about earlier, didn't want to kill off big name actors, right? No. And that is the reason this movie's so afraid to then not only not spend time with the other ancillary crew members, but then also not even remotely think we're going to lose anybody. Like there's no like threat of death, right? Like imagine if bad pitch, right? But imagine if Glenn Powell was that first guy who gets eaten like off the boat.
Australian guy.
Yeah. Like imagine if that was like a really known person. Like it was the same way like Pete Davidson in The Suicide Squad. Like he was all over the marketing. Yeah. He dies within the first 10 minutes. Sorry, spoilers for The Suicide Squad. So yeah,
The Suicide Squad might be a perfect segue into our next episode. tell the people what the next new release movie we're covering is.
It's going to be Superman, James Gunn's Superman, coming out this week, depending on when you're listening to it. We're both super excited to watch it. We have both of us have a lot going on this week, but we're both seeing like 9 a.m. screenings at some point over the weekend. Yeah. Really excited to make some time to talk about it and get the episode out. And then also, because we haven't seen this movie yet, we don't know what we're going to pair it with. So really,
yeah, that's going to be very interesting to think about. I'm sure that I'm curious. As like when I walked out of Jurassic World Rebirth, I texted you almost immediately and was like, I think it's Alien. And it came to me almost immediately, and I wonder if Superman is going to give me that same feeling where it's like, oh, it's so obviously this one, or if we're going to have to give it some time, give it a think.
Yeah, I'm curious because I think because a good challenge of the double feature thing is also not picking recent movies. And for me, I was also just like Twisters. I wanted to do Twisters with Jurassic World Rebirth, or even just the original Twister, which could be interesting too. You could compare that to Alien and Jaws in a sense.
Well, that is also, wow, what a good segue guy you are. You don't even know it. Do you want to tell the people what we've decided our double feature rule of thumb is going to be in terms of pairing a new release with an older release?
Oh yeah, so I guess like we're trying to keep it like it has to come out like at least 5 years ago, roughly. Yeah.
Roughly. It could be anytime. It could be a movie. We might touch the 50s, touch the 60s. You know, we're doing the 70s here tonight. This movie, 1979. But yeah, it could be anytime, but we are trying to keep it within at least 5 years, so that to limit a little bit of recency bias.
Yeah. But, you know, who knows how long we'll be doing this as the years tick up. 2020 will be unlocked for us. A lot of great movies in 2020.
I can't wait. Even next year, I think we'll unlock 2020, 2021 movies. And I mean, we got to tick up a little more because that's pandemic times.
Yeah.
and it was slim pickings. But this rule was very convenient for... I wanted to do 10 years, and then I realized that if we do 5, we can do 2019 movies, which is an amazing movie year.
Yeah. There's a lot
I was like, okay, maybe we should keep it to 5 for now. Evan, where can the people find us?
Find us on Letterboxd, of course. Back to the Feature Pod, right?
Actually, no, Evan. It's just Back to the Pod because somebody took that handle from us, and it was too long for Letterboxd. So yes, you're correct. You can find us on Letterboxd at Back to the Pod. Where else, Evan?
Also on Instagram at Back to the Feature Podcast. Right? Do I have these memorized? Back to the Feature Pod. There we go.
Back to the Feature Pod.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna open up a new line right now. Before we forgot to mention YouTube. You can also find us on YouTube at Back to the Feature Pod. But new line dropping right now. You can email us if you have seen a movie that we haven't seen and you think it would be a perfect pairing for a new release that you want to hear or see covered. You can email us at backtothefeaturepod@gmail.com.
Whoa, yeah, and also email your fun pairings. I've had a lot of suggestions from people already about different pairings of just movies in general. Yeah. So maybe on a slow week or something, we'll take a guest suggestion of 2 pairings.
Tell us we're wrong. Leave us a comment. Tell us why we're wrong.
Should we just have watched the original Jurassic Park again?
Tell us why we should have actually paired this with Marriage Story.
Oh, right. Oh, my God.
Make the case. Make the case.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you guys next time when we cover Superman and TBD.
Yeah, and thank you to Matt Prince and Riley Oskelis for their technical production on the first half of this episode as well as episode 1. We'll catch y'all soon. See ya.
Welcome back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby.
I just broke my chair.
What?
I just broke my chair. Okay, here we go.
You gonna be okay? You gonna be good?
We'll do it again.
Okay,
do it again. I'll put it at the end as a blooper. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Back to the Feature is created and produced by Evan Yee and Gabby Ruiz. Our technical producers this episode were Matt Prince and Riley Oskellis. This episode was edited by Evan Yee. Original music by Austin Yee. You can follow the podcast on Letterboxd at Back to the Pod and on Instagram at Back to the Feature Pod. Have a movie pairing you think would be fun for us to watch? Email us at backtothefeaturepod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.